The story of Islam's early expansion is one of remarkable speed. It swept through the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. This transformation involved deep spiritual conviction and astute political strategy. It was a period of intense social upheaval and realignment. Understanding this journey requires us to look beyond simple explanations. We must delve into the world from which Islam emerged. The role of key figures was undeniably central to this process. Their leadership and vision guided the nascent community. The challenges they faced were immense, both internal and external. Yet the movement not only survived but also flourished. It established a new religious, social and political order. This order would go on to shape the history of a significant portion of the globe. The story is not just about conquest, it is also about the creation of a new civilization. We will examine the origins of Islam in Mecca. We will consider the Prophet Muhammad's pivotal role in its dissemination. This journey through history seeks to be engaging for those new to the subject. Before the rise of Islam, Arabia was a land of contrasts. Vast, arid deserts dominated its interior, yet oases and fertile regions dotted the landscape. The people were predominantly tribal. Loyalty to one's clan and tribe was paramount. Mecca was a bustling center of commerce and a significant religious site. This ancient sanctuary housed idols of numerous Arabian deities. Polytheism was the prevailing religious practice. Life in pre-Islamic Arabia, often called the Jahiliyyah or Age of Ignorance, was harsh. Intertribal warfare was common, fueled by disputes over resources or honor. There was a rich oral tradition, however. Poetry was highly valued, celebrating bravery, generosity and tribal pride. Yet social structures were often deeply unequal. The powerful exploited the weak. Infanticide, particularly of female infants, was practiced by some tribes. Mecca's importance grew due to its position on key trade routes. The Quraysh tribe, to which Prophet Muhammad belonged, controlled Mecca. This wealth created social stratification within Meccan society. Amidst this complex tapestry of tribal loyalties and religious practices, new ideas began to stir. Muhammad ibn Abdullah was born in Mecca around 570 CE. He belonged to the Hashemite clan, a respected but not overly wealthy branch of the Quraysh. Orphaned at a young age, he was raised by his grandfather and then his uncle, Abu Talib. Muhammad became known for his integrity and trustworthiness. He was called Al-Amin, the trustworthy one. He worked as a merchant, traveling with caravans. He married Khadija, a wealthy widow who was also his employer. As he approached his 40th year, Muhammad grew increasingly reflective. He often retreated to a cave on Mount Hira, near Mecca, to meditate. It was during one of these retreats, in 610 CE, that he received his first revelation. The angel Jibril in Arabic appeared to him. The angel commanded him to recite. This was the beginning of the Quran, Islam's holy book. Khadija was his first supporter, believing in his divine calling. Muhammad's message was simple yet revolutionary in the context of Meccan society. He proclaimed the absolute oneness of God, Allah, and condemned idol worship. Initially, his followers were few, facing ridicule and growing hostility from the Meccan elite. The persecution of Muslims in Mecca grew severe. Followers were subjected to boycotts, verbal abuse, and physical violence. The Prophet Muhammad himself was protected to some extent by his uncle, Abu Talib. However, after the deaths of Abu Talib and Khadija in 619 CE, his position became more precarious. Amidst this adversity, a glimmer of hope emerged from an unexpected quarter. Delegations from the city of Yathrib, an agricultural oasis north of Mecca, approached Muhammad. Yathrib was plagued by internal strife between its Arab tribes, the Aus and Khazraj. They saw Muhammad as a fair and respected leader. After careful negotiation, an agreement was reached. The Muslims of Mecca would be welcomed in Yathrib. In 622 CE, Muhammad orchestrated the secret migration of his followers from Mecca to Yathrib. This event is known as the Hijrah, meaning migration. It marks a pivotal moment in Islamic history. Muhammad arrived safely in Yathrib, which soon became known as Medina al-Nabi, the city of the Prophet, or simply Medina. The Hijrah represented a fundamental shift in the fortunes of the nascent Islamic movement. In Medina, Muhammad was no longer just a preacher. He became a statesman, a legislator, and a military leader. In Medina, Prophet Muhammad set about building a cohesive society. The primary task was to integrate the Muhajirun from Mecca with the Ansar of Medina. He established a system of brotherhood, pairing emigrants with helpers. This fostered solidarity and mutual support. The first mosque was built in Medina. It served not only as a place of prayer, but also as a community center. It was a hub for education, legal discussions, and social gatherings. The call to prayer, the adhan, echoed through the city, symbolizing the presence of the new faith. The early years in Medina were not without challenges. The Meccans remained hostile. Several important battles took place between the Muslims of Medina and the Quraysh of Mecca. The Battle of Badr in 624 CE was a significant early victory for the Muslims. Despite being outnumbered, they defeated a larger Meccan force. This was seen as a sign of divine favor. Alongside military challenges, Muhammad also established the social and legal framework of the Islamic State. Quranic revelations continued, providing guidance on various aspects of life. The community in Medina aimed to be a model society based on the principles of fairness, equality, and devotion to God. This vision attracted more converts, and gradually the influence of Islam spread beyond Medina. After the Prophet Muhammad's death in 632 CE, the Muslim community faced a critical moment. Who would lead them? Muhammad had not named a successor. Abu Bakr, a close companion, was chosen as the first caliph. His short caliphate faced the Ridda Wars. He reunited Arabia and initiated military expeditions. Umar's caliphate saw remarkable expansion. Muslim armies achieved stunning victories. Uthman continued the expansion and compiled the Quran. Ali's rule was marked by internal conflict, ending the Rashidun Caliphate. The early expansion of Islam was marked by decisive military encounters. These battles had profound psychological and political consequences. The Battle of Badr in 624 CE was a crucial morale booster. It was seen as divine support for Prophet Muhammad's mission. The Battle of Yarmouk in 636 CE opened Syria to Muslim forces. The capture of Jerusalem in 637 CE was significant. The Battle of Qadisiyah in 636 CE led to the capture of Ctesiphon. These victories were driven by religious zeal and skilled commanders. The rapid expansion of Islam was not solely due to military success. The message of Islam itself held considerable appeal for many people in the conquered lands. Islam offered a simple, monotheistic creed. It emphasized the oneness of God without complex theological doctrines. The Quran's message of social justice and equality also resonated widely. It condemned oppression and called for compassion towards the poor and vulnerable. The policies of the early Muslim conquerors often facilitated acceptance. In many areas, Muslim rule was initially less burdensome than that of the Byzantines or Sasanians. The Muslims generally allowed Christians, Jews, and Zoroastrians to practice their faiths. They were considered people of the book. They had to pay the poll tax in return for protection and exemption from military service. Trade routes played a vital role in the dissemination of Islamic ideas and culture. As the Islamic Empire expanded, it gained control of major international trade networks. Muslim merchants traveled extensively, carrying not only goods but also their faith and culture. Mosques and learning centers were established in new cities. The Arabic language, the language of the Quran, also spread. It became the lingua franca of administration, scholarship, and commerce across the empire. This linguistic unification fostered a sense of shared identity. The spread of Islam brought profound transformation to the Arab world. Before Islam, the Arabian Peninsula was fragmented. Islam provided a unifying ideology and centralized authority. This unity enabled Arabs to play a major role globally. The Arabic language, elevated by the Quran, unified the region. It spread across North Africa and the Middle East. The rise of Islam led to a distinct Arab-Islamic civilization. This civilization made remarkable contributions in various fields.